In this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to use the beautiful new JND 422 Modern Trees to make this stunning light up card here. So I'm just going to turn the lights on and see we have this beautiful lit panel with the baubles in different colours on there. So really relatively simple to do. The dies do all of the work for you. So to get started, this is the die set, and in the Modern Trees you get two different inserts. This time we're going to be using the bauble insert, and these are designed to work perfectly with JND 420 Charles's treat box, so you can use that to make an absolutely beautiful four-sided treat box. But this time we're going to concentrate on cards, so we're going to be using this panel. You also get an outside line which fits both of them, and you get three baubles which fit exactly with these baubles there. So to get started, I'm going to take a piece of coconut white essential card, and I've cut this to 5 by 7 to give me a nice simple card size. And I'm going to take the central outside line and simply cut this in. So I'm just going to place this evenly down on the card. I use some of the fantastic Craft Artist low tack tape to tape that down, and we'll run that through and die cut that, and that will give us this beautiful simple tree shape or triangular shape here. So next I've got a piece of vintage gold satin card that again's been cut just a little bit shorter than 5 by 7, just so that it doesn't pop through. Actually, I haven't trimmed this one down right, so we'll just make sure we're trimming this a little bit more smaller than 5 by 7. In fact, I cut this wrong, so we'll just trim it down a little bit just to make sure that it's no bigger than the white. We simply put that behind, making sure none shows on the front, and then we take the insert die from that and we drop that in to give you a nice even border. Keeping that in place, move away your top piece, and then take a piece of the low tack tape and tape that securely down so that we cut that panel into the gold. So we'll move that one and we cut that, and this is the subsequent piece that we'll get from that. So you get those beautiful panels cut through, and we just pop our top over, and you can see there, and we could leave it at that. We could make a beautiful shaker card by using acetate into that or anything like that. There's lots of different opportunities. But within the die set, we get 3 baubles, which are 3 separate sizes which fit these 3 baubles. So what I've done is I've cut these already in gold mirror card, and again this is vintage gold. So we simply turn our card over, and either using the Craft Artist glue glaze, or for speed I'm going to use some spray glue. We glue the back and we simply place the baubles on, and again you can make these different colors. Again, we'll still make a beautiful shaker card with these in, and all we're doing is matching up the size, and if you match the little hole at the top, it sits on perfectly, so that when we turn this over, you can see now we have the baubles in a different color showing through. I'm then simply going to take a piece of vellum. I've got a piece of colored vellum here, and we're just going to pop that over. It doesn't have to be the same size, it just needs to cover that aperture. So we pop that over now, so that we've then got a little see-through panel at the back that the lights will shine through. And I find using vellum or coloured vellum gives us a softer look. You don't see the individual lights, just the actual lights. So you can see there where we've got the coloured vellum against the red, and we have our top that drops on. Nice and simple. So here's one I've already prepared, and I've glued this together. I've just foam mounted the white over the top. And there we have our panel. And we're now going to put our lights in. So what I've done is put foam tape around all 4 sides. And I'm simply then going to reveal my tape. And I find foam tape is the best way to sandwich the actual lights in. So I've got a set of lights here. I'm going to check they're working. So remove the protective tab, switch them on, make sure they're all lit first. You don't want to put them in and find they're not. And we're just going to unwrap these, and use any length that you want to. I'm using a 20 string, but that's because that's what I've got. So I'm going to take the battery unit, and I'm going to seal that coming out from one side against the tape. And then I'm simply going to run the tape all the way around, putting the wire down to the adhesive and letting the lights show through. So nice and simple. And we just keep doing that, using the wires to stick to the foam tape and allowing each little bulb to pop through. And rather than trying to move yourself, just move your work each time, going through and popping each light down each time. So I'm going to continue doing this, going round, letting the lights show. And you can let the lights show in different places, and you can do that. Say I want one in the center here, we can just make a little loop and pop the bulb in to make sure that they're showing in different places, and just continue working around until you've got each bulb stuck down. And don't worry if any wires cross, as long as they don't cross this section here. Again, you could string them across for a different look, and then you would have little pinpricks of light showing through. So it's entirely up to you how you do it. But this way, it is relatively quick, and it will create a homogeneous light all the way around the back. So I'm just continuing on, and as you can see, I'm sort of grouping them round to make sure that the lights are sort of almost evenly spaced. They don't have to be perfect. And just making sure any wires are held within this foam tape. So we're nearly done. I've got a few more to add on. If you do find your string is too long, you can always trim it down. That's the great thing of these lights. And I get all my lights just from Amazon. They're no particular brand. I just buy Paper Safe LED lights. You can always do a Google search for things like that. There we go. Last little strip. So once you've got all of those stuck down and you're happy, and don't worry if you might sort of start to spring off a little bit, we're then going to seal it up. So you then need to use another layer of foam tape to seal all of these down. And this is your time to just make sure that nothing's popping through to the front of the card. And again, because I'm using Paper Safe lights, this is absolutely fine. So just gluing it down, and that way none of the strings can pop out anywhere because they've all been sealed in. And make sure that light's pop in there. There we go. Number 3, and then we'll do the 4th side. Now, rather than wasting card to put a back on this, I'm going to put this straight onto the matten layer that I've created, or actually onto the card front. So I'm now going to simply reveal the tape on all 4 sides. Check my lights. Yep, nicely working. This is the last chance to check your lights before you seal the whole unit in. And then we take, here I've got a card blank that's been cut to 6x8 with a top fold. I've just taken an 8x8 card and cut it down. I'm then going to place this nice and evenly in here. So I've got mats and layers on this at 7¼ by 5¼ and then a little gold layer on top. Again, pop it in, check that its lights are shining, beautiful. We then open our card. I'm using some of the Craft Artist Super Tacky glue to glue this down, as I find this is perfect for gluing things like that. So just glue your panel into place. And you can use a little bit of low-tack tape just to hold it in place until the glue goes off. If you're concerned about the wire popping up, use a little bit of normal sellotape, or you could use a nice pretty bit of washi tape and just seal that in. And there's the front of our card finish with just the wire running across the back. And then I'm simply going to decorate this. I've actually cut some of the Inkit poinsettia, because that gives a beautiful impression, in the same colour vellum, in this sort of purpley blue colour. And then to bring out the colour of the gold here, I've cut some of the mistletoe in gold. So I'm just going to use Craft Artist glue glaze to adhere that down, as this is a quick grab glue which is easy to apply to delicate die cuts. So simply putting a little bit on each leaf, using the lip gloss applicator. So I'm going for this bottom corner, but you could go, in fact, we'll change it to this corner, and that way you can cover over where the light is. And here I've got it where it doubles over, so I take that one off. Just make sure nothing comes below the bottom line of the card. And we'll add that one on there. And I'm simply going to add my flowers I've cut with the matching poinsettia, with the poinsettia, I should say, in the matching colour of vellum to bring that colour forward. So we'll just tuck those in and give those a little move around to make sure that they've adhered and grabbed. It doesn't help when my fingers are sticky. But what I'm actually going to do is, let's use a little bit of the Craft Artist glue. Using the right glue for the right job is the most important thing, really. And there we have our little collection of poinsettia. And there's our finished card. Just flip it over, turn our lights on, and there we have our beautiful Light Up Modern Trees card. For more ideas, hints, tips and inspiration, why not visit the Crafting with John next door and Crafts2 group on Facebook. Enjoy.